students. In the previous class, we learned on one topic, that is a CSS selector. I already uploaded the video of that. If you are not present at the time, you can watch that video. In that, we also learned the practical of that. Three practicals we done. First for the element selector, that we are already doing for the head section. We are writing the style tag and we are putting the style in a particular tag. Then we learn the ID selector. If you want to give a particular ID to the tag, that time you have to use the ID selector. And last is the class selector. You can use the class selector to any tag. आप किसी भी tag के लिए use कर सकते हो class tag में. उसमें जो भी आपने style input की होगी, that all will be applied to the particular tag. Now let's go ahead and learn the next one, that is the background properties. So whenever you are start your HTML, you learn one by one tags, then you learn the attributes of that tag. So like that, we will be learn the one by one things that will be used in the CSS, particular name which will be used for the CSS. If you are making your CSS file, that time you have to be use these properties. Properties means a one type of attribute. You are using the attributes for the different tags. Same, you can use the different properties for the CSS style. So first is the background properties. First thing, remember, background is not only for the body tag. You can use for the different tags. जो भी tags आप use कर रहे हो आपकी CSS file में, सभी के लिए आप background input कर सकते हो. It is used to define the background style of an element. First is the background color, background image, background position, and the background ribbon. What color? Everyone knows what is the meaning of background color. If you want to get the color of the at the background of particular tag, that time you have to be used. Secondly, background image, with using of URL, you have to be you can be insert the image in your web page. Next is the background position. What is the meaning of position? If you want to be take your image, for example, you are putting image as a background, and you want to be take the background image on the center of the web page, not on the other place. That time you will be use the position. Background repeat. This is the one of the important thing that you will be used for make your web page attractive. In that, what will be happen? Sometimes we will be take one of the image, the logo, and it will be repeated multiple times. If you don't want to be repeated, so you have to be write down just no repeat. So it will be show you once and not repeated. You can see the here that will be used for many times. For H1, you can add the background color. Body tag, you can put the simple image. Background repeat, if you don't want to repeat it, so you have to just write down no repeat. Position, which position you want. So let's see the demo for that. I already made a one HTML structure. So first of all, I'm going to write here the title name. That is the background. Properties. This is my title. Now I'm using a one head tag, H1. Background properties. And close the H1. Then tag the second tag, B tag. You can use the your choice tag. It's not necessary that you will use only the H1 and the B. You can use a different one also. B tag. This is the simple program. This is a simple CSS program. Display. Properties. Background. CSS. Make your web page attractive. Stop closing the P tab. So I saved it. So first of all, we have to be, this is a simple one. First, I will, then I will be put a CSS. This is a simple HTML program. For now, I'm not putting a single style sheet on over here. Maybe take some process. Already open. Okay, so you can see here it's already open and I'm not putting a single CSS, so it will be shown the black color. Simple one. Now I'm going to put a CSS. So for the putting the CSS, you have to be compulsory use the style tag. Opening the style and using the style in between, I will put a CSS style. So now firstly, we will take a CSS property. First is the background color. So what should you have to do? For example, I want to put the firstly background color on the body. So I will take the body, curly bracket. Then in that you have to write down the background color. You can see the third option, colon, and you can write down here the code also, or you can write down here the name of color also. Choice is yours, which one you want to be choose. Remember, whenever you are writing a code of color, you have to use the hash and color. For example, I'm putting here a red semicolon and saved it. Just show you the difference. Once we show you the difference, edible or not. You can see that the red color at the background is added. Now, for the particular color, for the particular another tag, I want to be add the background. For example, I want to be add the background on the H1 tag. Semicolon, okay, curly bracket, and putting the background color. Semicolon. I will be want to be take a pink. It's a light color, so it will be easy to also find it. Saved it. Background will be pink and the heading color background will be red. You can see that this is the heading, so its color will be red. Same you can do for the H tag. Down the background color. Show you the difference. So like that you can add your background color to a particular tag. Now second is the background image. For example, in the background there is a pink color. In place of that, I want to put a background image. So that time what should you have to do? Take a property of a background image. Request to everyone, put your image and the HTML file on the same page. Now how can you write down the URL? First of all, you have to write down the background image, then semicolon, then colon, then URL, in a bracket, double quote, write down the name of image. For example, I'm taking the this is name of the background image that we already saved in the same folder. As I'm going to show you, this is the folder. This is my image. That's a GPG file, and the background properties is also saved here. So both are saved on the same place. So I'm not putting here the URL, full URL. If both are saved on the different place, that time you have to write down the path also. Save it. The last dialog is on the column. Let's see the difference. If it will be a mistake, it will be no show. You can see the image will be added at the background and it will be repeated multiple times. बार-बार repeat हो रही है. So for that we will be use the background repeat and equals to we will be write down the no repeat. So I'm going to do that. So that will be all in which you are using the tag now. That time you have to write down the background repeat. Background repeat and write down just no repeat. Semicolon and saved it. So it will be not repeated. It will be just come once. वो एक ही बार आएगा जितनी उसकी size है उसके according. Last is the background position where you want to be your background image. Remember, background repeat and background position is for the whenever you are putting the background image. जब आप background image रख रहे हो तो उस time पे आप background repeat और background position का use करोगे. For example, background position. I'm taking the center. So it will be show us on the center. You can see it's now on the left side. Yes. So it will be came in the center. You can see here. So like just you are putting an image. So depend on the size of image. If you want to change it, for example, you want to be take it on the right. Like the top right. So that's right. That will be another mistake. So you can change it. For example, you just write down the right. Remember, background position is work as a line that you are used. So put and show the difference when you became on the right side. So this is the way how can you add the background properties, how can you use the background properties. Now, next is text property. Like you are using a background, you can use the text properties also. First is the color. If you want to change the color of your tag, you will be use this type. You will be use the color property. Text align. We are using the simple align whenever we are making the HTML file. We are just write the align. But whenever you are using the CSS file, you are creating the CSS file. That time you have to use the text align. Next is the text decoration. That is called the formation of text. Bold, italic, text transformation. What is the meaning of that? If you want to make your text in the uppercase, in the lower case, or first letter will be capital or capitalized, that purpose you have to be use the text transform, and last is the text indent. What is the meaning of that? It will properties used to set the intention of the first line of text. मतलब कहाँ से start होगा left side से. It's like a margin where you want to be leave your margins here. So let's learn them one by one. Taking the new file, copy of that. Now write down here the text properties. Styles. Another one. So here we have to write down the text properties. Okay, this is a simple CSS program, like CSS practical example in which we are using the style, in which we using properties of saved it with the extension of HTML file. Here the text properties. File become a hypertext markup language. If you have not got that, so you will be write down the extension.html. Save it. Okay, so first property, firstly you have to be put on style tag in the head section. So what should I do? Firstly, I have to write here the style tag. Now we are using the first one, that is the text color. For example, I'm taking the heading example. You can put the style for the another ones also. H1, and just write down the color, semicolon, green, and become a green. Save it and run this program. Name the text properties. Okay, so the mistake with the have to put the semicolon. Control X. So I will be take another color. And the browser, it will be not display the color. It's display the red color of heading. Like that, you can put the style. You can put the color of the P also and the body tag whenever you are using the body property, body text property. So that time it will be changed for full. मतलब जितने भी text आप use करोगे सबका color same होगा. जैसे body में आप color रख रहे हो blue, तो body के अंदर जितने भी text का use होगा सबका color हो जाएगा. Now second property is the text alignment. For that I am taking the P tag. By default, it will be always on the left side. So first you have to write down the text align order that you want to be put your text. For example, I'm right here the center, semicolon, Control S, so center, and side, so it will be easy for you to understand. You can see that it will came on the center. For example, if you do that on the right side, so it will be came on the right. So it will be goes to the right side. Now, next property of text, that is the text decoration. If you want to be underline the text, if you want to be line through, means if you want to cut line the text, or if you want to be overline the text, that time you have to use it. I'm taking the one for the heading tag. I'm using the another text property, that is the text decoration. Text decoration semicolon. For example, if you are using the underline, in with the underline. Next, for example, for the P tag, I'm taking the text decoration overline, means paragraph 2, PID line, text decoration overline plus. So you can see on the paragraph, it will be show the line. For example, third one is the line through, means it will be show the cut it, save it, and you can see that. You can use anyone to show your style. I'm taking one more heading, so it will be easy for us to identify the three of those. So here H2, X of H1, and within the H2, so size will be decreased. You can see that size is decreased, and now I'm using for H2 the text property, that is the overline. For that we have to write down the text decoration. See the three difference. Okay. Next is the text transformation. If you want to do the capitalize of text, smallize of the text, lowercase, uppercase, that time you can use. Firstly, I will be use the in the H1. That is the text transform. You can use the class and ID also. Text semicolon, colon, and you can write down, for example, I'm writing here the uppercase. So it will be converted directly to the uppercase. हमने कुछ अपर केस में लिखा नहीं है, लेकिन वो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाएगा. In the textbook, it will be show the example with the class, so you can go for that. So you can see the difference. It will be transformed to the uppercase. For example, you want to take for the lower case. अगर आप उसको lower case में convert करना चाहते हैं, then H2, in the H2 the P is the capital. I am taking the P also capital. So in the H2 I am taking of uppercase. I will be right here the lowercase. I'm showing the difference. So it will be transformed to the lowercase, and last is the capitalized. First word will be capital. For example, I will put that for the tel. Text transform in place of uppercase. Write down the capitalize. Save it. First letter should be always capital. So you can see that all the first letter will be capital here. This is the text transform properties, and last is the text indent, that will show the how much indent you want to leave. So for example, I'm taking for the H1 text indent. You have to write down here in the pixel also, you can write down, or you can write down the number directly. For example, 50 pixel. It will be started from here. Whenever I put the refresh, so it will be slightly on the left side. If you increase the size, so it will be less. Please space छोड़ के वो start होगा. Like that, you can be apply on the other one. You can use the class here also. You can use the ID selector here also. In the textbook, the selector examples are given. I show the simplest example. Right. So here we done. Now I'm going to end. I will be share the code on the WhatsApp.